Hey, hey, hey. Excuse me while I fix my chair. This is the Really Charlie podcast on WNB1 Radio. I got two of my special friends here, and we're going to talk shop in a few moments. But I got MG here, the woman behind the scenes doing her thing here at WNB1 Radio. I'm very, very happy to work with her every single day.
Same, Charlie.
Yes. And we got Lizette Perry from Mass Hire, Greater New Bedford Career Center.
Thank you for having me.
This is round two for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you got to stop meeting like this. People are going to talk,
Well, we have more programs that I want to discuss.
There you go.
It's all good. All good. Let me see here. Let's get things wrapped going here. All right. So we got a couple of trainings that we're going to be talking about at Mass Hire. And the Career Center is at 618 Cushing Avenue, New Bedford, Massachusetts. And I'm going to put the address up here just in case you all need to know where the address is. I'll find it sooner or later. MG.
Yep, go right down.
There we go.
There you go.
And
Right up top.
go up top.
There
Yeah.
you go. You make me want to hop in that seat because that's where I usually
I'm
am.
telling you.
Let's hop in. Let me do it for you.
It's actually being in this corner right here
Yep.
is difficult. Over there, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Perfect setup.
Yeah, that right, like to the side.
Mhm.
Yeah, swing it around. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have to touch that mic over there. It's such
Mhm.
perfect.
It's perfect.
You
It's
know,
right there. I
it's
hear
like-
you. I know.
got it.
These are the Eliza. These are the woes behind the scenes at the radio station that we got to deal with. But I'm happy to finally be here
I am.
with you. And I know it's kind of like a last minute, but when I heard that Elizette was going to be here, I wanted to bust in because collaboration and people need to understand the community aspect of things of what goes on within the city. I'm a board member of the Workforce Investment Board, and so
Very
a part of
nice.
that is the oversight of the Career Center. So we have to work closely with one another on developing relationships with the community and businesses and everything like that. So I'm excited to see Eliza here for a second time and utilizing our platform at WNB1 Radio to actually, do this. So thank you.
Yeah, we go back a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Thank you for having me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's important that we get the information out to the public about these different training programs. They're free training programs, and when I hear, so many people saying, "I can't find a job. I don't know what to do with myself."
Hello.
I think about these programs, and so often we have to cancel programs. Like last time we tried to run the culinary program, we had to cancel it, but yet I hear time and time again that people want culinary. So
Can't get chefs,
exactly.
can't get workers. Yep.
It's amazing that I try to tell everybody that New Bedford has an abundance of things, and if you put your ear to the ground or just ask, you'll find it. And there's many things out there. I don't really have a problem. If someone asks me, "Hey, I need this, I need that," I'm definitely going to tell them the right things.
Right.
Only because it's right here. The resources are here, and Lizette, you have the resources. So I've been trying to tell all between young, old, men, women, everyone to go down there. It's downtown New Bedford, if you want to call that downtown, you know. Eh, uh, so talk about the programs that you have and that are new. That you explained that you have three different work programs or trainings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now, I'm most excited about this automotive tech program. It's been a while since we've had an automotive program here in New Bedford, and I don't know how many kids that I see on the street. They're always tinkering with their cars, changing the oil, spark plugs, whatever the case may be. Here's a program where, again, it's a free program. It's being held at New Bedford Voc. The program's going to start September 11th. It's going to end December 5th. And the good part about this is we're supporting you the whole time you go through this training program. And once you're done, we're going to help you find a job within the area we trained you in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the exciting part for me. It's like not only are we going to help you get the training, but once you're done with the training, you have a team there to help you get that resume up, talk to employers on your behalf, get you prepared so that you can enter the work world. And for a lot of people I know, they say, well, I have a job. It's not really a career, but it's a job. We really want to help you develop the skills so that you can start your career, not just another job.
Talk about it. I think that's the key word. Just had this conversation before I left my office, is that people don't understand the difference between the two.
Yes.
Right? So the career you gain experience in, and you're in it for a length of time. That's your career. Your job, call it a job. You're in and out, you move around, you do whatever you got to do, and then that's that. It's when you're able to create long-term stability in a place that makes it a career. So,
True.
I mean, being able to have the Career Center as a resource for our community to be able to go to. And the more and more we get the exposure of it, of what the offerings are, then the better it'll just tie all into our community. So, yeah, I'm excited about the automotive too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely excited about the automotive. One of the other programs is a culinary program. Again, all the programs are starting in September. September 11th is the start date for this program. It's going to end um, December 5th. This program is going to prepare you to enter any type of culinary
Hmm.
background. So we've got a lot of restaurants right now that are looking for prep cooks,
Mm-hmm.
True, true,
you
true.
know, sous chefs. This is an opportunity to get started in that career.
Hmm.
And again, free training.
Come on.
You had
Yeah.
me at free. Hello.
That.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
these programs are actually designed for our students who have recently left school
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and may not have really developed a plan on where do I want to go with my future.
Hmm.
So these will give them the entry level skills. One of the great part about this is that when you come into the Career Center, we're going to do an assessment with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to identify what your skill sets are. Once we've identified your skill sets, we're going to look at what your aptitude is.
Hmm.
We're going to look at your education. We're not just going to send you on your way. We want to make sure that you're prepared for success.
True.
Let's see those skill gaps. Let's look at your education level. If you need a high set, let's get you that high set, and then let's get you into training. But the whole goal is to work with you one on one,
Hmm.
assess your skill sets, and sometimes we're not the right agency for someone, but we'll be
Mm-hmm.
quick to make that referral
Hello.
to the
Right.
appropriate agency. I always say it takes a village, and we're trying to network with as many community organizations as possible. The other day, we had a young lady in the office who was struggling with housing. Just so happened I had the PACE information for housing, so I was able to share that with her. But
Yeah.
Nice.
it's those wraparound services
Hmm.
that we really need to connect with our job seekers and really offer them those wraparound services in order to make them successful. And you're right, it's all about resources.
So there's so many out there.
Yes.
I what I first of all, before I forget, what are the hours for the Career Center?
The Career Center is open from 8:30 to 4:30. On Tuesday evenings, we're open till 6:30. And on Friday morning, we open at 9:30.
Okay. The all right. I think that that building is it's utilized for what it's worth. And what I'm saying is that there's if you go in there, you're gonna find so many different things, so many links to whether it's city or state or different things, and that's why I always encourage people to go down there. Just go down there. Don't ask me the questions. Go down there and ask the professionals the things you want, the things that you need. Like you said, they're going to be assessed, and it just like my cousin went there probably maybe 3 4 years ago, right? And he only wanted one thing, and when he left, he had 4 or 5 things to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was good. And until this day, he's still doing what he went there for. So,
And that's what we hope, that people
yeah,
are going to build off of that and really turn it into a career. The first step is to have them attend a Career Center seminar. The seminar goes over all the services that are available through the Career Center system. We talk about our priority customer, which is our veterans, anyone who's receiving any type of public assistance, our homeless population, really trying to drill down and identify what your barriers are. And then from there, build. Our youth team is constantly out there working with, you know, thank you, because last time you had me on, we were talking about the youth program,
Hmm.
and it's been a success.
Yeah.
We were
Mm-hmm.
able to fill every single summer job, and we're still accepting
Mm-hmm.
applications for the older youth because we have an employer who's looking for 18 plus.
Hmm.
So if you're out there and you're not working, contact our youth department. Call Mass Hire. Our direct number is 508-990-4000. Give us a call and let's get you out there into the workforce.
Uh, I'll put that number up momentarily. Let me
Yeah.
just.
I think it's important for parents to know too that the summer youth program is probably one of the best programs that the city actually has for the youth. So if you have a high schooler and you're looking at for ways to keep them busy in the summer, and you want to give them a head start on what it looks like in diverse career fields, so they get a better understanding that of what work looks like, and things that you never thought of. I have 7 kids that are working at my company, and school bus business, not the sexiest business. People often don't think about somebody's got to clean the buses, somebody's got to paint the lines in the parking lot, somebody's got to do some of the yard work, somebody's got to do the cleaning in the office. Like, you think about these things, somebody's got to shred paper, somebody's got even answer phones sometimes. Like, there's things that kids or people just often don't think of work that needs to be done. And so I just think it's such a great program. We've been a part of it as a company partner for, I want to say, like 18 years now. And so it's just a great for parents to know about it. you know I think that's the biggest thing, is get your kid on board ready for the summer,
Definitely.
ahead of time, so they get a sense of what a career field actually looks like
And for a
you
lot of
know
our youth, that's back to school money.
it
If your
is.
family's struggling, that's money to get those sneakers you want.
Yeah.
I have a young lady that I spoke to the other day, and she was like, well, I need to get my license. I was like,
Hmm.
save up this money and pay for driving school with this money.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity out there. And it's really that trying to get them to learn how to plan
Yeah.
and execute,
Yeah.
right? If you can get a youth to wake up in the morning and go to work, you're instilling some work ethics in
Hmm.
that individual.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but so many of our youth out there are lost.
Yeah, they are.
They don't have a skill set, they don't know who to turn to, they've lost trust
Yeah.
in the adults in their lives
Yeah.
sometimes. And other times, I mean, they come from, great backgrounds and everything else, but they're just not finding a program that kind of embraces them, or that they feel like this is me.
Yeah.
This is me. And we're not the right program for
Yep.
everybody. I mean, maybe Third Eye is the best
Hmm.
program for your youth because they're into music and things like
Hmm.
that. But the whole idea is to try to get as many individuals who are interested into a career, learning those work skills
Hmm.
early on.
Exposure. It's early
Early on.
exposure to what, like, life looks like, right?
Exactly.
And so, if for me, I find that it's most helpful for the kids like myself. I didn't go to college. And so for me, that early exposure to very specific industries, in my case, was essential, right? I didn't have, didn't go to college, didn't take courses outside of high school. It's like, okay, this is what it is, and kids don't think like that sometimes. If they're anything like me, I remember staying there in the middle of the field, New Bedford High graduation. I'm standing there, I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? Everybody else is going off to college. My friends are just, they're all signed up for the fall, they're doing their thing, and I was like, what the heck? And I wasn't the best student. As somebody who struggled with retention later on in life, I learned that could have, it very well could have been a learning disability that I had, but I never got diagnosed, I never got tested or anything like that. But my parents were they didn't know enough to do those things, you know? And so, the exposure that programs like this offers these kids to give them a broad spectrum of what life could potentially look like outside of high school if you don't get the opportunity to further your education in college, that there are other opportunities out there for you,
You
you
can't
know.
be. I mean, I thought about this for a long time. I set my kids up to go to college. I never really looked to see if they had an aptitude for something.
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably noticed it because they would have been tinkering. But right now, if you graduate from the trades, you're making just about as you're making more money
Talk about it.
than a
Exactly.
college
Talk about
student.
it.
Yeah.
Talk about
Okay,
it.
and you don't have the student loans to
Talk
deal
about
with.
it.
We have so many jobs in our community right now for repairmen, for
Mm-hmm.
AC, marine
Welding.
tech,
The welding
welding, the
one.
welding
Yeah.
Yes.
I
program. We
mean,
can't seem to keep that program just keeps running,
yeah.
and we keep filling that program. We're going to continue running that
Yeah.
program because it's so
Yeah.
successful. It's an entry level welding program, and the other day I think I was at Buddy Andrade had the access to opportunity, and I was hearing an employer talk, and he was talking about we don't have skilled folks to run those cranes here in
Mm-hmm.
New Bedford.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there saying, why don't we? Why don't we?
Yeah.
Because the amount of money they're making, that could be somebody in our community.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
could be our kids.
And
Yeah.
once you're qualified with that and you're trained with that crane, now there's opportunities for you to go to stay here at home, right?
Yep.
Stay here at home. Then you may receive a call in Fall River, Providence, Boston,
Absolutely.
um, all along the East Coast. They may say, "I need a crane operator. Can you work
Mm-hmm.
with us for 2 days, 3 days?" And you say, "Yeah." You drive up to where it may be,
Yep.
and there you are. And I think it's well over $50 an hour. So
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. It's what you come out the gate making six figures a year.
yeah,
And that's close to unheard of in other, you know what I mean, in other fields. I think one of the other points too that I think people miss the boat on is that having a trade is something that people retire out of.
Exactly.
And so when you have an influx of retirees, and this is what the past, I don't know, I would say the past 5 or 7 years in these other industries, plumbing, welding, you know
hmm
what I mean, crane operators and everything like that, you're talking about a demographic that is retiring out. And so when there's not enough training for people to fill those positions is when you start to see a decline in very specific industries. But that's also when you start to see the cost of living go up.
Exactly.
And so I use my industry as a, CDLs as an example. We've been in a nationwide shortage of CDLs for over 15 years now. And because it was a retiring industry then, and the cost of living has done nothing but go up, but the cost to get the license and to keep it has gone up, right? And so
hmm
what do we do to offset that? What do we do to make things more accessible so people can get these trades, like a CDL, like a plumbing, like a welder, like a crane operator, like CNAs, like, you know what I mean?
hmm
These are the things that people don't like to talk about, but they almost, it's like out of sight, out of mind,
Yes.
right? So when we have a platform to educate people about that, I think it's important. And so, I mean, the Career Center does so much outreach, community outreach, and they're here, they're there. There's people that are everywhere. Like you said, tonight they're at Connie. It's Carney, right? That's
Yes.
doing
hmm
they're at Connie Academy,
National Night Out.
National Night Out, And so the exposure to these opportunities is so incredibly important, you know. I'll hop off my soapbox because I get excited about it because I've been on the Workforce Investment Board, I think, for maybe just over 10 years now, I think. And, you're passionate about that. I know we talked right before we came on. That's my community involvement and me being passionate about that and being able to, okay, being in business, but how do I also shift, right? How do I shift the line on certain things for very specific demographics? And so that's the importance of what community means, is being able to get involved at very specific capacities, but exposing what we could do for one another, for the betterment long term. It's exciting.
And just to piggyback off of what you said earlier, we don't just do these special
Mm-hmm.
programs. We do the CDL training.
Mm-hmm.
We do CNA training. We do so many different programs. And the thing is, a lot of people ask, do you have a list? The reason why we stay away from a list because it's so easy for you to pick off of a menu.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
But if I start that assessment process with you and identify what your skill sets are
Mm-hmm.
and identify what aptitude you have, let's look at the education, let's look at the work history, and let's come up with something together as far as a career, a life sustaining wage, and an entry level position so that you can build.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One of the most exciting things that ever happened to me, well, yeah, it is. I walked into St. Luke's, and when I first became a counselor, I had this woman who came through for services. She was on public assistance. She had 2 kids. She started training and then she had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
She had a child with a learning disability, and the schools really weren't ready to handle that back then. They were still learning about, how to deal with kids who have challenges
Yeah.
as far as, their learning styles. Long story short, she was my first client. She would stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And I remember the last time I met with her, I was like, how's it going? She's like, I'm finally going to end my training program. After a year, it was a 6-month training program.
Yeah.
After a year, and I said, well, congratulations. I said, what's the next step? She said, someday I want to own a house. And it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah. Should.
Someday I want to own a house.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a few years later, I'm going into St. Luke's to have a procedure, and this woman comes out. She hears my voice. She comes out, and she says, Eliza, do you remember me?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her. I said, of course I remember you. How are you doing? She said, I'm now the coordinator for this unit.
Wow.
I bought my home.
Come on.
Nice.
And I was just
Yeah.
like, I remember that was the one thing you told me you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
She said,
Mm-hmm.
and I accomplished it. She said, and thanks to you. I started as a receptionist here.
Mm-hmm.
After I did that for a while, she
Yeah.
said, I kept seeing all these positions opening up, and I went for them. I kept going for them.
Yeah.
And here I am today. And she said, and I have the Career Center to thank because we gave her those entry level
Mm-hmm.
skills
Mm.
to get that
Mm-hmm.
receptionist position.
Great story.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that makes
That-
me excited
Yeah.
about
Hello.
what we do. I mean,
Talk about it. It's always, I love when they come back,
yes,
right? When they come back and they're like, if it wasn't for your father,
Mhm.
sitting down talking to me. We used to
Your
go to Buddy
father.
Andrade's. We used to
Yeah.
go to Buddy Andrade's meetings, and I remember my father went, and we were all there, and I think Masi was there too, and I think Samba might have been there at the time. It was Samba. The agency was called Samba. And anyway, we're all there, and there were a group of men that wanted express interest in CDL. My father said, "Just come by my office. We'll talk." That week, he had like 4 of them come by. One of them in particular ended up enrolling in the program, got licensed, came back and thanked my father. And he came out the gate. At the time he came out, his first year, he had went over the road. His first year, he had made somewhere between $80,000 and $90,000.
no,
And he went from the money he was used to was $30,000
Mhm.
a year. And he said, that day changed my life. And there was the community involvement in that. Buddy Andrade, my father willing to be there at the seat. Masi Pino Christian was there. It was that community engagement that sprung that success story. I don't, it's great.
no.
It's just great. I love stories like that.
It's definitely great. And your dad, I mean, he's been part of the system. God rest his
Forever.
soul, but
Yeah.
he made an impact.
Yeah.
When he met someone, it wasn't just about hi. It was
Mhm.
always about how you doing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was a question that always came
Mhm.
after hi. How you
Mhm.
doing?
Yeah.
And that's so important to ask people nowadays
Yeah.
because you never know who's struggling with what.
Hello.
And again, I know we're not the answer for everybody.
Yeah.
But we do have the resources, and if you're ready to take that next step,
Committed to change.
exactly.
Yeah.
our WIOA programs, our
Mm-hmm.
Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act is our WIOA programs, and those programs are designed to help anyone who's low income. If you're receiving $1 worth of food stamps, I had a lady tell me the other day, she's like, I can't even buy milk.
Hmm.
You're right, you can't buy
No.
milk, but it makes you eligible for free training.
Hello.
Yeah.
So if you can get those training programs, if you're collecting unemployment, you're considered a dislocated worker, and we can help you that way. Look at, let's say you've been working as a medical assistant for the
Hmm.
past 5 or 6 years, and you didn't keep up on technology, and now you need to enhance those skills in order to go back into the workforce. We can help you.
Mm-hmm.
If
Very
you meet
nice.
the income guideline and you have a job, and
Yep.
your employer says, I need $300 worth of tools in order for you to start, we can pay for those tools for you to
Mm-hmm.
start that position. There's so much we can do. We have a vet rep in the office. There's just so many opportunities. We have an access to recovery grant. Um, my point is that we have something for just about everybody.
Hmm.
And if you meet the income guidelines, you get the free training. I
Yep.
would love the opportunity to receive some
The-
Sure.
training, because the old Elizette
okay.
and this mature Elizette who sits in front of me
Hmm.
right now,
Mm-hmm. Two different
two
people.
different
Hello.
people. The
Yeah.
Talk
bills are
about it.
starting
I
to
talk
roll
about it
in,
on the
and
yeah.
I'm like,
Come on.
okay.
Come on. You are right. You are right about that.
Yes. And if you had that opportunity to continue your education
Yeah.
or to get a skill that can make you more employable, why not take that? It's an
Yeah.
opportunity. And again, our youth program, if you don't have a high set or a GED, call our youth department.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you the name of Christina Baptiste, and her phone number is 508 990 4123. Call her directly, and let's get you into a high set program. That's the key to success right now. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a high set, there's not much you can do. Or if you're interested in the adult diploma program, we're partners with New Bedford Public Schools. We've been going into housing and doing outreach in housing, so we can meet you where you're at. If you
Mm-hmm.
can't come down to the Career Center, try to meet with us when we're out doing our community outreach, and let's get you some skill sets so that you can enter the workforce or advance your career.
Christina's last name again?
Baptiste.
Baptiste. Tough?
Just like Derek.
Yeah, Baptiste, yeah.
Baptiste.
What's that? What's the number?
508 990 4123.
I think people are always like hyper focused on college and everything
Yeah,
like that, but not understanding that everybody learns differently, right? There's no
absolutely.
one model of how someone learns, and it's across the board. Um, and there's different ways, there's different levels, there's different ways to get to where you need to get to, and everybody has a different definition of success,
Absolutely.
and so it's not the conventional way, and you should always get an education, but getting a trade is an education,
Oh, you kidding me?
you
Like I
know
said, you
yeah,
can start in the trades making
yeah,
more money than a college grad, and you'll be able to find a job really quickly, and you don't have to pay back those student loans.
Hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
Those
Very
student
nice.
loans are killing
yes,
so many
yep,
people right now, and the trades have always been there for us.
mm-hmm,
And, it's just,
yeah,
think about it. You need somebody to fix your car, you need somebody to fix your dishwasher when it
yep,
breaks. We just need so many different folks who work in the trades to do every aspect
yeah.
of your day. If you're
And even
driving on a road,
yes, and even if you do already have a trade, and let's just say you happen to fall out of luck and you're out of a job, there's postings all the time there as well on places that are hiring and everything like that. It's just a beautiful resource. Let's just say that.
At
definitely.
618 Acushnet Avenue, New Bedford, Mass. Mass. Higher Greater New Bedford Career Center. And they need, it's, I just got to keep plugging this out there. It's very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
A place I know knew for a long, long time, and it's only gotten better. You know, every single year it gets better and better. So because of the people like you two that are making it better, leveling up, level up, and that should be your first, your middle name. Level up. You know, that's my girl.
Too
Every
modest. Too
every week
modest.
she's changing things.
I
I love it.
appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, Lizette, I want to give you this opportunity to basically, if is there anything else you want to add that we can let our guests know?
Yes,
Um,
we have a Marine Tech program
okay.
over at
Yes.
New Bedford Vogue. That program again, same start date. It's the night classes over at New Bedford Vogue.
Wow.
It's starting September 11th. It's going to end in December 5th. And the hours of the training program, which is something I didn't mention yet, the hours of the program are from 5:30 to 9:30.
And what I like about that program is you can get trained in that, and then there's another. You can kind of tunnel over to BCC and everything that they're doing with the trade
Hmm.
winds and all that stuff. It just wow. We it's nice when you don't have to go far from home. You know, you only have to go a few miles away, and you can get everything that you possibly need. Because years ago, when you know, we always had to go elsewhere. Wherever it may be, Providence, Boston. We always had to go up in that direction
There
to
are a
get
few,
some of the things that we
yeah,
needed.
there are a few trainings that you have to leave New Bedford for. So, uh, EMT.
Yeah, but it's free, right?
EMT training, we can't find a local vendor who's approved in our system. So, in order for you to be a vendor in our system, there's paperwork, and I know you can attest to this. There's
Hmm.
paperwork that needs to be done. You have to have placement information, you have to have statistics, you have to have all that information within
Hmm.
the system.
Hmm.
Our closest EMT program, and I just had three gentlemen come in and interested in the EMT program. Cities hiring, there's so many places hiring. The closest program is in Springfield.
Oh, now we have this place. Uh,
I was gonna say you have your next door neighbor is an EMT training
Yeah.
program,
mhm.
but some programs just don't like filling out all that
I it,
paperwork,
it is
Exactly.
it is
and she
extensive, and I
knows
think it's
firsthand.
yeah, you do, but again, that's a part of a broader
Yeah,
conversation, right? Because the Commonwealth isn't the friendliest when it comes to businesses, and also training facilities either. So it can be difficult and challenging to get all of the certifications you need, in order for you to even get to that part of it. But I'll say this. I think there's nothing more rewarding once you do get through that process. It does become easier after you've done it a few
yes,
times. Um, but I think there's some challenges that I think are deterrents for many,
absolutely.
to be able to actually do it. And it's been, uh, listen, you got to stay in the trenches with it. It's what you want to make it, right? And so, if your desire is to just be that and have people come in and not be able to, you know, um, have other opportunities as an income source too, because you guys pay us to train people. But if you don't want to grow, essentially, then I can understand you want to stay there.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's worth it. We've been partners with the Commonwealth as a training provider for I'm I'm going to go ahead and say 23 years, because we started. My father started before I even started, with him, and I've been with him since I was 18. So, you know what I mean. So it's been quite some time, that we've been, but things have changed over the years. Processes and procedures that you have
Exactly.
to follow, state auditor guidelines, and all that other stuff. And so, I can understand the hesitation, but at the end of the day, would you rather just continue, because you got to hustle either way?
Mhm.
Would you rather hustle doing that, or would you like to know that you actually do have somewhat of a steady resource
Exactly.
of a partnership with the Commonwealth, that they'll say, hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and so what? You got to make sure you're doing the right thing. You got to make sure that your instructors are certified. You got to make sure that you're really doing everything that you say you do for your students. But why would you not want to do that anyway?
Hmm.
Right? I feel like it just makes you better, you know? So I get it, but, you know,
Yeah.
And when you have standards like that, guess what? It it just puts you in the right place,
yeah.
right? And now you can kind of elevate those standards
Mm-hmm.
to something that you may want,
Mm-hmm.
So you'll always be above par and then some, when you kind of go through all those standards. It's very, very important, because, you know,
Yeah.
this society is civil happy, and civil liability is very, very crucial when you're doing things like this. And
Yeah, I agree.
It is a federally funded program, so I mean, just like on our side of the house, we have to show that you're lawful in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to participate in any of these training programs, I'm going to check and see, do you have a birth certificate? Were you
hmm
born in the U.S.? And
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't born in the U.S., we're looking for that naturalization certificate or that permanent resident
Yep.
card
hmm
or whatever document they gave you at point of entry.
Yep.
yes,
We're looking to make sure you're going to be income eligible. So again, a dollar worth of food stamps, TAFDC, SSI, anyone who's just collecting unemployment benefits, those individuals are eligible. For our youth, if you do not have a high school diploma and you're interested in services, your dad could be the mayor of New Bedford and you would be eligible for the
Mm.
training program based on
Mm-hmm.
the fact that your basic skills sufficient as
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
far as
yeah,
the government kind of looks at it. Um, we're trying to develop different programs for our returning citizens,
Yep.
trying to engage with them early on in the process before they even get released so that they can, you know, learn a trade so that
Mm-hmm.
they can sustain themselves and they don't fall back into those same
That
patterns.
and
sure,
that's a statewide initiative,
Yes.
with the House of Corrections across the board with the Commonwealth. That I just got the call today from someone who was asking about that, and I think this is the stuff that I wish people were more open to. You know what I mean? Like I wish that businesses would be more engaged in that because listen, there's you can't tell me people don't walk in the
hmm
door and say I'm looking for a job, I can't find anything, this and that, because there are some people that do. But if we just came together as a business community and said, I go here. You might not be able to work here, but why don't you go here and find, you know what I mean? Find out how, or what you qualify for. I think that's important too. So, I mean, there is a lot. There's a lot of all good stuff,
Yes.
all good stuff going on. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Chris is doing a great job on what they got to do to get the word out and stuff. And we just got to continue to plug away at it.
We
good,
keep trying. We keep trying
I
to get the
know.
word out into the
I
community.
know
And
it.
if you're an organization out there listening and you'd like us to, go in and talk about services, please contact us. I'll give you my direct number. My name is Elizette Perry, and my number is 508-990-4157. That is my direct number. We'd be willing to go out and talk to your participants or talk to, your residents and just offer opportunity, just
Hmm.
have that conversation. Again, we may not be the perfect fit for everybody, but we're
You'll find out if you go there.
exactly
hmm
I mean, you don't know
we're
unless you
constantly
try.
looking for
Yeah.
resources and trying to get different information. If you walk into the Career Center, you'll find information about New Bedford Public Schools, their high step program. You'll have
Hmm.
information about UMass Dartmouth. They're offering a Spanish CNA program.
Yep.
You'll find information about MRC. So there's so much under that one roof,
Hmm.
and we just continue trying to get different resources in
Yeah.
the center and making our staff aware of different programs out there in the community so that we can offer that wraparound service.
Yep.
Because I can't say it enough, it takes a village.
My father used to say, what good is success if you don't help people along the way?
Absolutely.
hmm
And, that is something that resonates with me every day when I wake up. And so this is it. We have to help one another. Otherwise, it is what it is. I need skilled workers when I become a senior citizen. I need some skilled workers to take care of me. I'm not trying to be out here like that. No, no, not me.
And it's funny because a young lady I spoke to a few days ago, she's like, I want to be a CNA. I was like,
Yeah.
do you know what a CNA does?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no. I was like, you help the elderly, you help people who can't take care of themselves. She's like, wait a minute, will I be changing somebody's diaper?
Yes,
Mhm.
girl.
Yes, you
Yes,
will.
you
She's
will.
like, never mind. Let's find
Right.
another training
Right. Let's.
program.
Uh-huh.
And that's why the career
And therein lies the
exploration.
assessments and
That's
everything
it.
like that, right?
That's
You
why
know.
that career exploration is so important,
Mhm.
because as you're going out there and finding out, I mean, it's great when you say I'm a CNA and I see you pull out a wad of cash and you're like, yeah, there's plenty of jobs out there. I make good money.
Yeah.
But making sure that that's the appropriate field for you,
Mhm.
that's the key. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to wake up every day and it's not going to feel like work.
No. Well, that's something I did 30 years. I loved going to work.
Yeah.
You know, and it was nice. And occasionally mental health day you need, right?
Yeah.
But
Everyone needs to recharge.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I appreciate this podcast. Let's not make this the last time. Let's
No,
do this again.
definitely.
Whether it's you, me, and my friend in between us over here, I always like her on the show. You know, she's always she has that intellect and that input that we need. You know, especially when she talks, you hear her every few conversations is business. She's a business minded person, and she's ready to pass on some of her knowledge to you, me, and everyone else. So I appreciate you. All right. If y'all can make my screen a whole lot beautiful, I'm going to play this song by Lionel Peter Walker. The Really Charlie podcast comes to you on WNB1 Radio, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. We will have another show next Tuesday, sorry. And I'll give you the details as the days go forward. All right. Lizette, MG. What's that? What's that? MG.
MG.
That's fire, baby.
Yeah, that's the wine sound. Yeah.
All right. All right.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass.